Welcome back, sexy anomalies. Today we're going to speak about why is your momentum constantly being sabotaged. Most people are not aware of the hidden forces that are constantly, every single day when they wake up, dragging them down. The energetic egregores, for those of you who don't know what an egregore is literally like an energetic invisible entity that is dragging you down and that is stopping you from building true momentum and you capitalizing on the compound interest and compound elevation of your momentum. So today, the biggest thing that we're going to speak about is the vibrational entropy, the frequency entropy that you need to be able to identify and fight back every single day. Now, as always, take notes, send them to me in the comments or on Instagram, and let's get straight into it. This is Earth, right? So this is Europe, this is Asia, and this is Australia, let's say. The main vibrational entropy of the Earth, for simplicity's sake, we're going to take arbitrary numbers for you to understand. But basically, the main vibration on Earth of the human mass consciousness is around 200, okay? For simplicity's sake, we're going to take from 0 to 1,000. So on Earth, usually the main average human being as of 2025, 2026, 2027 is around 200, right? So usually, what does that mean? Vibrationally wise, it's usually centered around anger, fear, pride, competition, etc., right? Cool. So the thing is this, nothing happens by accident. Coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. And the higher consciousness level you are, the more you realize that coincidence is non-existent. It's actually what we call synchronicities. Everything is carefully designed, right? As you may know, if the gravity or the density of space was a tiny bit different, then everything around us would explode. Which means what? Which means there is a natural order of the universe for life to happen. What is this, for instance? Don't criticize my drawing, I'm getting better over time, okay? But what is this? Oops, you know what? This is a DNA strand, right? DNA strand. When you look at the DNA strand with all of this, does it resemble more chaos or some orderly structure? One would argue that this resembles more of order, right? Not chaos. This resembles more of order. Now, what does that tell you? This tells you that for life to happen, there is an conscious, orderly system that has been created. The DNA strand proves order that creates life. What does that tell you? That means that someone or something created order, right? Because without a conscious intention, you'll notice in life, there's no order. Let's say, for instance, that this is you, there's two types of people, by the way. Two types of people. This person is orderly, and intentional, okay? Intentional. Their garden, they have their house and then their garden may look like this. With trees and flowers, etc. This other person, on the other hand, is not orderly, okay? This person doesn't care about their garden. So they are not orderly. What happens in their garden? There's grass and bullshit everywhere, right? There's no structure. So what does that tell you? It means that if you want to have an orderly, beautiful garden with a certain structure, there needs to be conscious intelligence behind that. Here, if nature was left on its own, there would be some kind of chaos. Now, you may say, okay, well, it's only a matter of perspective. Some people can see this chaos as some orderly structure. Yes, but it's just to tell you that if you have something that it looks structured and beautiful, there's usually a conscious, intentional intelligence behind that. Why is this important? Well, same thing here. Life, as you can see, has a certain structure, which presupposes what? Presupposes that there is a conscious intelligence behind life, right? Which means, conscious intelligence, which means that you were created in a specific manner, or you weren't created because you have always existed. That's a topic for another time, but your physical body, your electrical body has been created in a certain structure for you to enjoy the game in a certain way. Cool? So in life there is order and then there is chaos. There's a perfect balance for you to not only be able to capitalize on life and to enjoy the game of life, but also there is some kind of chaos that you can play around with to create order in your life. Cool. Now that this is out of the way, that there is a mix of not orderly and orderly intentional structure in life, you need to realize that it takes obviously more effort for you to have order in your life, for you to have a beautiful garden, than having chaos in your life. Okay? Why am I saying this? It's because most people on the vibrational alignment are around anger, fear, pride, competition, 200 vibrational field. Most people are slaves to chaos, to whims and flows. They're not really intentional in their lives. And the thing is this, entropy is a concept in physics that basically states that if you do not fight back an entropy, or if you do not consciously and intentionally put some effort to fight back entropy, entropy will literally, the concept of entropy and the law of entropy will get the environment in its natural initial state. Another synonym in this case would be homeostasis, basically the baseline of what you judge as natural. And the thing is this, because the natural state of the earth is 200 in vibration, if you have a vibration that is above 200, or you here, if you are above 200, then naturally you're going against the natural homeostasis, the natural entropy of the current level of vibration and level of frequency and level of consciousness of the planet. Which means what? You're going against the previously energetic equilibrium of the planet. Which means then what? Naturally, it will take you more energy for you to be an anomaly than for you to be a normality. Okay? Now, why is this so important? Because it's normal if you feel like you need to expend more energy for you to excel in every single aspect. Because the norm of planet Earth is being a loser, being angry, fearful, prideful, in constant competition, and being unidimensional. Okay? Unidimensional. Okay? That's the normality. Have you ever seen, do you really think that the majority of people on Earth are excelling in every single aspect? That are aligned physically, mentally, spiritually, and successful in health, wealth, relationships? No. Usually they're unidimensional. You have the typical gym goer that is very shredded, that is potentially healthy if he's natural, but he's broke or he's not good with the ladies. He thought that all the muscles without any charisma would work for the ladies. It works only at one extent. You have oftentimes the fat billionaire, right? Overweight billionaire, right? The fat billionaire that, same thing, gets manipulated by gold diggers. So being unidimensional and having a vibration of around 200 is what we call normality, is the equilibrium of the current state of the Earth. So by you being above that, naturally, you have to fight the entropy of planet Earth and the inertia of your own stagnation. Now, it's important to understand that this is what the average human experience is. Okay? This is momentum over time. And this is their frequency. Okay? This is the average human experience. Meaning what? Meaning some days they're motivated, right? Some days they take effort. But the problem is because they're constantly self-sabotaging, because they do not understand the law of inertia, the law of entropy, they self-sabotage nearly almost as regularly as they do some improvement. And therefore what? Therefore, they're constantly stuck in the same vibrational zone. And remember that the language of the universe is vibration, and therefore you cannot attract anything that you're not the vibrational alignment with. Therefore, what does this imply? Because the frequency, the vibration is always the same, it means that they are constantly living in a time loop, because they're constantly, continuously attracting the same thing over and over again. Which is why I love this quote from Benjamin Franklin, which says, most people die at 25, but are only buried at 75. That's exactly why. That's exactly why they die at 25, because they stop improving and they constantly self-sabotage, and they seem to be up and down, up and down, up and down, and keep having the same frequency and vibration. And therefore, because it's the language of the universe, they keep attracting. The universe can only give you what you're the corresponding vibrational alignment with, keeps giving you the same thing over and over again, the same challenges, the same actions, the same physical events. Which is why people, we say, oh, people have been stuck in the rat race or 9 to 5 for 40 years. That's the life of most people. And even you as a high sexy anomaly, high level ambitious individual, you may be in a period of time right now where you feel stuck. You feel like you're constantly stagnating, right? You're constantly self-sabotaging your momentum. So this is what the human experience is. What we want to do is remove that completely from your mind, and giving you the awareness for you to build more momentum, for you to be quantum jumping into progress every single day, and making sure that you do not, one, self-sabotage your momentum, and that you keep compounding on that momentum for you to be more successful every single day. Because remember, the more aware you become of reality, the more control you have over reality, right? You cannot see something that you're not aware of, which is why when you start to have a clear-cut protocol for your elevation of vibration and frequency, you start to see synchronicities. You're aware of different types of synchronicities. You start to see synchronicities in your life, basically feeding the vibration and giving you a feedback loop for you to continuously become more and more high vibe, higher and higher frequency, and therefore attracting better and better things in your life. So let's get you aware on what you need to do versus what most people do. C'est clair jusqu'à maintenant? Parfait. Cool. Boom. So, in life, there is two main forces that will determine where you go, which determine the path that you take. Cool. The first force is the force of entropy, as you've understood. Entropy. Basically, what is the energetic equilibrium that is commonly accepted in your direct surroundings, bringing you to that homeostasis level? Cool. And then obviously you have the momentum path. Momentum path. Okay? Now, this is what we would call normality, the normal path. Okay? And this is what we would call the anomaly path. So be aware, if you decide to excel in every single aspect, if you decide to become an anomaly compared to what the masses is commonly accepting, you will have to expend more energy and you will feel more tired than the average masses. That's completely normal. And the normal path, the entropy path, is basically the path that most people take without intention, right? There is no intention here. They let themselves go with the flow. They've accepted what their boss tell them and go with the flow of life, of the commonly accepted thoughts of love, marriage, and what society feeds them on the news. And therefore, it also is a mix of a weak identity. Weak identity. This is what makes them naturally follow the entropy path. On the other side, the momentum is being built by strong identity, and metaphysical leverage and work. Again, remember, metaphysics is beyond the physical. The science of metaphysics is allowing you to master consciousness, manipulate energy in your favor. And because this universe is made of energy, vibration, and frequency consciousness, then this literally means that you're using the fabric of reality in your favor. Okay? So, with intention, without intention. Now, I'm going to give a clear example of what most people do and what you want to do instead to fight back this path of entropy. Cool. So same thing here. This is momentum over time. Momentum over time. This is your frequency level / vibration. Frequency, vibration, and consciousness level. Okay? So this is your starting point. Okay, this is you. Cool. Now, what happens is, most people, what do? Well, obviously, they unknowingly, they follow the entropy path. Why? Because they have, this is the negative thoughts that they have, right? Constantly self-sabotaging negative thoughts. Negative thoughts. Hold on. Let me put the red here with a... Yeah, there you go, better. So negative thoughts. By the way, guys, did you know that like 77% of the average human being's thoughts are negative? So if you don't reprogram your subconscious mind, you're fucked. So basically 77% of negative thoughts. Okay. Then, what do? Social media scrolling. Social media is making them feel worse. Then they have a loser entourage. Loser entourage. Then they go to work, and then there's what? Gossip, drama. Then they come back home, and because they're not intentional in their relationship, they have toxic relationships. By the way, you put the ego aside, please, because you can always improve, even if you don't think you're in a toxic relationship. Still, ask yourself this. Be aware of potentially where you could, what are the activities or the energetical egregores that are basically bringing you down, because it's all a game of energy. Okay? If you want to excel in every single aspect, not only one, do you need to have higher levels of energy? And two, you need to be aware of what is bringing your energy down. Because obviously, if you don't focus your energy in the momentum path and you let the entropy egregores bring you down, then obviously it's going to be very, very hard for you to ever build momentum, and you're going to feel like you're constantly self-sabotaging your momentum. So all of this, as I always say, everything is linked. Okay, the universe is holographic. So how you treat one aspect of your life is how you treat every aspect of your life. This is why the proverb, how you do one thing, how you do one thing is how you do everything, exists. It's literally this. If you let all of these things, you think they don't have any impact, they have an impact, because you only have so much energy during a day, so much consciousness that you can spend in the right way in a day. Toxic relationship, stagnating work environment, right? Then you have the news, and then what basically society tells you to do, right? Societal accepted behaviors. And I don't want to get too conspiracy theorist here, but society is built in such a way that it doesn't profit from you being an anomaly. It doesn't profit so much for you following the momentum path in your own way, because the more you need society to survive and you need to be dependent on all these things that I just mentioned, the more profitable you are for society. Cool. So then, in this case, what do we need to do to get into the momentum path? Well, first and foremost, positive reprogramming. Do I have a green one here? No. Don't like this screen. So, positive subconscious programming, right? Programming. Stacking wins. Okay. The more you can stack wins early in the morning, building that momentum, the easier it's going to be for you to crush that initial entropy and that inertia that you have. Okay. Then learning, right? Reading high consciousness books, learning, having coaches, mentors that know where to go, giving back as well. By the way, if you feel down, if there's days where you feel down and you feel a bit anxious, stressed, or even depressed, start giving to people. Start being nice to people. Start being kind to people. It could be as simple as you have some people that are working, I don't know, a plumber that is working at your house. And then you chit chat with him, you offer him some coffee, you offer him some drinks, whatever it is. Start being nice to people and you'll see that because everything is linked, because of the quantum entanglement principle and the law of oneness in spirituality, stating that everything is linked, that you are linked to everything and everything is linked to you, universe, you are the universe is you. Therefore, when you give some love in any type of form to somebody else, it comes back to you and you start to feel much better. Okay? Giving back, learning, obviously high level entourage, applying metaphysics, identity work, super important here. Simply, a little parenthesis here. When you change your identity, when you change one identity, this has a ripple effect on dozens of paradigms, mental paradigms, or what we call reality models, basically. Reality models. How you view the world. And when you change your mental paradigms and reality model, this has a positive impact, or this has an impact on hundreds of beliefs. When you change hundreds of beliefs, this has an impact on thousands of emotions and feelings. Because again, your thoughts determines on a long period of time your emotions. And when you change thousands of emotions and feelings, obviously you know that emotions and feelings are the drivers of actions. You're literally changing tens of thousands of micro attitudes and behavior. Attitudes, behaviors, and actions. And therefore, this literally changes the results you have in life. Okay? So, if you change your identity, this is what I'm trying to do in every single video. I'm trying to change your subconscious mind and make you quantum jump your consciousness into a new level of identity. Once you change one identity, you change dozens of paradigms, you change hundreds of beliefs, thousands of emotions, tens of thousands of micro attitude behaviors and actions, and therefore the results that you have in life. Cool. This is why identity work is so important. So this is the momentum, okay? But the thing is this. You need to realize that you need to be extremely conscious of what you do every single day, okay? If you let your negative thoughts get the best of you, if you get social media get the best of you, if you let your entourage be losers, if you give into gossip and drama, toxic relationship, and you're not aware enough of seeing that your girl is manipulating you, for instance, you're in a stagnating work environment, you watch the news, you follow what societal accepted behavior is, then you're naturally following the entropy. And you'll naturally revert back to the maximum of the level would be therefore 200 in terms of vibration. Okay, 200 vibration. This, the more you follow the momentum, so you have the positive subconscious, reprogramming, stacking wins, learning, giving back, high level entourage, applying metaphysics, identity work, momentum every single day, then naturally you increase your vibration towards the spiritual paradigm or towards, let's say, 800, right? Which is where you operate from a place of peace, love, and abundance, and therefore naturally, because the universe gets you back that, it gets you back your love, your peace, and abundance in different types of form, whether it's money, wealthy, relationship, healthy relationships, vibrant health, a jacked body, beautiful partners, etc., etc., etc. So you need to realize that right now you have a certain level of consciousness. Now, obviously, depending on your frequency and your vibration, you will need to have to do less or more work. If you're, for instance, starting here in terms of the level of vibration and consciousness, don't expect you to hit 800 very, very soon. You need to start to build that momentum back up again. Now, it's important for you to realize that you need to build systems for you to fight back the entropy of most people and the entropy of planet Earth. Literally, guys, I'm telling you, like, this is why you're feeling tired every single day, especially if you're doing some crazy personal development work and stuff like that. That's why you're feeling tired, because you're fighting back. You're not just like elevating yourself, you're fighting back the entropy of decades and hundreds of years of what is normally accepted and the energetical vibration of the planet Earth that is bringing you down. So every single day you're literally not even fighting your own inertia, like, moving towards and building momentum and building motion throughout the day. You're also fighting entropy. And this is the next drawing, is understanding that because you're a high level sexy anomaly, you will spend 50% more energy than a normal human being. And let me tell you why. This is what you need to do every day, or at least the awareness that I want you to have for your everyday work. The first 25% of your day, naturally, you're going to have to fight back entropy. Okay, so the entropy is literally like all the bullshit society wants you to be. Then you're going to fight back your own, so 25% of your day, at least in the beginning, is going to also be fight back your own inertia. And this is why the mindset of I'm starting from zero every single day is really true. Because even though you had won your day yesterday, all this energy is resetted by the night. So you're going to fight your own inertia because you're static, right? You need to build momentum back up again. You need to build motion back up again every single day, okay? So number one is going to be fighting back entropy and then your own inertia. Then 25% of your day is going to be creating intentional order. Don't worry, I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that for each step. And then last but not least, the remaining 25% is compounding on your ascension and growth. And this last part is the more visible part of your momentum. This is like the baseline that you need to do to be able to fight back the stagnation that society and the vibrational of the planet brings you down with. This is basically the kickstart of the momentum, and this is the true momentum. So it's normal if sometimes, because you're not in the momentum yet, you feel like you only see like just tiny wins after tiny wins after tiny wins every single day. It's because this part is the visible one. This is the fighting back the negative programming. This is the kickstarting, and this is when you see the results. So here, order, ascension and growth, compounding. All of these, I'm going to tell you exactly how to segment your days to make sure that you build over time your momentum and you stop self-sabotaging. Because if you're not doing this every single day, then obviously sometimes you're going to feel like you're creating order, you're compounding on your ascension and growth, but the problem is because you're not fighting back inertia and entropy, you're feeling like the first graph that I showed you, up and down, and you're stagnating in the same frequency, attracting the same events. So how do we fight back entropy? Number one, remove the bad habits. Remove bad habits. The bad habits that you think are acceptable are literally the thing that creates insane entropy in your life. Number two, fighting back your own inertia. Okay? That's like, this is literally what gets you minus. This is what gets you like, I'm talking about the entropy. Entropy is like getting you minus. Inertia is like making you stay the same. Order, intentional order is giving you pluses, and compounding on the ascension and growth is giving you the 3 pluses. So, coming back to your own inertia, what you need to do is you need to stack wins early in the morning. Early. And not any type of wins. You need to stack wins early, mentally, physically, and spiritually. This is how you fight your own inertia. If you've been able to at least stack one mental win, one physical win, one spiritual win when you wake up, then you're on the roll and you've fought your own inertia. You're creating motion. Now, creating intentional order. This is taking what I call anomaly actions towards your goals. Towards your goals. Now, what is it to take anomaly actions? You all know the law of Pareto. Pareto basically states that you need to take 20% of certain efforts, specific efforts that will produce 80% of results. Now, the anomaly actions are the extreme Pareto, if you will. So what are the top 5% of efforts that create insane asymmetric upside, giving you 95% of results? Because really and truly in life, you don't have time. Like in this day and age, if you want to excel in every single aspect, if you want to be an anomaly, you don't have time to focus on 20% of effort in every single aspect of your life. You need to find the 5% of effort in health, wealth, relationships that allow you to have 95% of results in all of those. If you wanted to be unidimensional, the Pareto lever and the Pareto law would be enough. But if you want to be a multidimensional winning individual, you need to use the anomaly actions or the extreme Pareto, as I like to coin it. Cool. So that's what you need to do, taking anomaly actions towards your goal. What does that mean? It means to identify what are the 5% efforts that you can take, the big actions that move the needle the right way and make quantum jump and quantum leaps in terms of the progress that you have in your life, and list them and take them every single day. And last but not least, the 25 compounding ascension and growth. This is doing some identity metaphysical work plus mindset shifts, because everything starts with the mind. The mental plane is the cause. Mindset shifts, right? Identity, as we said, plus esoteric knowledge, because the difference between somebody who is able to make $1 billion or $1 million in a trade deal and somebody who's just starting out, it's an information problem. It's a knowledge problem. Esoteric knowledge. By the way, esoteric doesn't necessarily imply something occult or something mystic. It can literally be like the type of insider information in finances, in health, wealth, or relationship. You need to have access to people who have access to esoteric knowledge. If you want to really truly compound and see growth. Because regular exoteric information, which is what the masses has, is not enough. So during your day, 25% should be fighting back entropy, removing your bad habits. Thinking negatively is a bad habit, for instance. You need to reprogram your subconscious mind. Fighting back, 25% should be fighting back your own inertia, right? Because it's not enough that the world is trying to fuck you over with its low vibration and the energetical equilibrium, low energetical equilibrium it's trying to fuck you up with. You need to also fight your own stagnation, your own inertia. Every single day you need to fight that. So you see already 50% of your energy is used to fight back. And that's where most of the masses lie. That's what the masses lie, because they're not doing this, right? Most of the, even and when I'm speaking about the masses, I'm speaking about the people who are trying to be better. I'm not speaking even like about the sheep. I'm speaking about the masses of the personal development sphere, if that makes sense. And it's not enough, personal development. Right? It's not enough to just remove the bad habits and start to stack win mentally, physically, and spiritually and just be 1% better every day. It's not enough, because then you're not going to be an anomaly. You're going to be like all these other dudes in the personal development spheres. Okay? What you need to do is start to take anomaly actions towards your goal and the identity, metaphysical, mindset, esoteric work. Okay? This is the top 1% anomaly path. So you see literally what I'm trying to tell you here. This 50% and this is 50%. So if you truly want to be an anomaly, it's normal that you feel tired sometimes, because you're literally using 50% more of your energy to create intentional order and compounding on the ascension and the growth. So what do you need to realize? World-class people that are building insane amount of momentum and compounding on their ascension and growth, they master rest work cycles. Because you are expending every single day so much energy, you need to master rest cycles for you to avoid burnout, because burnout will literally kill all your momentum. And that's what most of you anomalies are doing. You're working without resting properly, and therefore you have the burnout, and the burnout kills all the momentum you've built. This is why you feel that even though you have strong periods where you're super motivated, you will work, and then you're falling into burnout, you're not motivated anymore, boom, you take 10 steps back. And last but not least, once you start to apply this 50-50 formula, I want you to be aware that the universe is going to test you. Coming back to the energetical equilibrium, this is going to be the last drawing. Are we 7? 7, 8 maybe. Energetic equilibrium. Energetical equilibrium. You need to be aware of this if you do not want the universe to sabotage your momentum. As you level up your frequency, as you watch these videos, what's going to happen is, by watching this video, you're going to naturally elevate your frequency, your consciousness, and you're going to start to feel internal shifts. You're going to go from situation A to situation B. And you need to be ready for that, situation B. So, situation A is basically, this is you, and this is the people around you. Okay? Right now, because you haven't built momentum and you haven't elevated your frequency, the average arbitrary number for the vibration of the environment is, let's say, on average 100, right? And it's an arbitrary number to tell, like, basically the environment, the entourage right now is of a vibration of a 100. So you have 100 vibration, This guy has 100 vibration. This guy as well. This guy as well. Now, it's important to understand that, again, the law of entropy and the law of inertia are universal laws that allows the universe to keep a sort of homeostasis in terms of energy and equilibrium in terms of energy. So your energy, your vibration is arbitrary at 100. Obviously, you're more than that, but just for the sake of simplicity of this video, you get the point. As you elevate your frequency and as you level up your vibration, naturally what's going to happen is now, let's say, for instance, you're vibrating at 200, right? But the thing is this, the universe is trying to keep the average of 100, which means what? If you have elevated your vibration, because it wants to keep at first it wants to keep the 100 average energy, this means what? This means that he literally is going to, or the universe is literally going to lower the energy of others and the vibration of others to keep that balance. For instance, here we have 400 divided by 400, right? Here we have 3 people. So you have basically 400 divided by 4. So 400 minus 200. We have 200 left divided by 3 people. This means basically those 3 people are around 67, 66, right? So now they're down 66. And this is not their fault. It's literally, that's why 95% of our actions and how we think, how we feel, and how we speak and what we do is unconscious. It's because the universe, it allows the universe to kind of like make some equilibrium. So because you elevated your frequency and because the universe wants to keep equilibrium, it naturally lowers the vibration of other people. Have you noticed, like, when you walk into a room and you're feeling super high vibe or anything like that, weirdly enough, people immediately balance themselves out and are lower vibration. They're lower vibration and they feel like, oh, you seem happy today, right? Immediately they become lower vibration. But if you are low vibration, you're feeling bad, immediately they try to rebalance. Oh, how you doing? They're trying to be super nice and super happy with you. Cool. That's literally the law of energetical equilibrium in place. So why is it important to understand that as you level up frequency, people around you are going to naturally lower their vibration and lower their frequency? It's also because I want you to be aware that it's not their fault and you don't want to take it personally. It's simply because the universe is trying to keep the same energy at first. What you want to do is be unreactive to their negative vibration, the entropy that is bringing you down, right? The entropy of the group or their own low vibration. You need to be aware that it's going to happen as you level up your energy, as you level up your vibration, frequency, and consciousness. By watching these videos, some people will give you shit for nothing. The universe is going to give you new challenges for nothing. Why? Because it's a sign that you've leveled up. You've leveled up your frequency. And because the universe is trying to keep the balance of 100, it's going to use people, circumstances, and conditions and events to try to bring equilibrium into the immediate surrounding of the energy field. Okay, you and other walking energy fields. So it could be humans, it could be events, it could be synchronicities, whatever. So why is this so important? It's because what you want to do is be aware of that to be able to keep momentum and keep building that momentum. Okay, be aware that as you level up frequency, more shit is going to come at first until your frequency is so strong that naturally it will elevate the entire group. It will elevate the entire vibrational field of the group, and therefore then over time it's going to increase to your own vibration and frequency. This is why we say lead by example, show don't tell. It's because as you start to be a better person, naturally you inspire people, right? You naturally inspire people by your being and not the words. So hope it was useful, guys. Let me know in the comments if you like this masterclass, and if you like these types of masterclasses, be very aware of metaphysics, the art and the science of vibration, frequency, and consciousness and energy, to be able to leverage that in the right way for you to not self-sabotage your momentum by fighting back the entropy of the world, fighting back your own inertia, kickstart your growth with creating intentional order like God did with your life and with the DNA strand, and to be able to, once you have the kickstart, skyrocket, you're able to capitalize on the momentum and the ascension and the growth. With this new awareness, you're not going to self-sabotage your momentum ever again. See you guys. Ciao.